Call to order this reconvening of the 2026-2027 urban renewal budget meeting. Call to order, flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I forget who told me to go up and introduce myself to you. Somebody, I was over there.
Roll call.
Rick Benoway. Here. Gail Daniel.
Here.
Gary Daigle.
I'm right here.
Kelly Geyer.
Here.
Debbie Hamilton.
Here.
Renee Lilly.
Here.
Scott Perkins.
Here.
Adam Sarnoski.
Here.
Sean Smalley.
Here.
Sandy Smick.
Here.
Michelle Sumner.
Here.
Larry Whitaker is excused. Abigail Willis.
Here.
And Lisa Woods.
Introduction of media. If there are any members of the media present, please identify and introduce yourselves. Okay. Public comment. Does anyone in the audience want to speak about the Urban Renewal Agency budget items only? I think we got any.
There is one.
I see.
She do a.
Should you do a card?
Did you fill out the sheet?
I only saw one for council. Do you have one?
It's just the one that's back there.
Can I fill it out?
Sure.
Afterward.
I wanted to talk about the Urban Renewal Agency and the tax increment financing. This year, it's gone up. It's projected to be at 682, almost 683,000, of which about 42% or 287,000 are funds that would normally go to the city, but they don't. They go to Urban Renewal. Also, the city has determined to reimburse the Water Control District $25,000 for funds. So, because it is not receiving funds diverted to URA, and that's a total of $312,000 in property tax revenue that the city will not receive this year due to Urban Renewal. Other funds, such as school and county funds, will also be affected by this tax increment financing. Each year by law, property taxes may increase up to 3% due to inflation. This increase in property taxes funds increases in operating costs of the city. If you divert this increase yearly into funds for urban renewal, you obviously will come up short in your regular budget. So, did you ask the citizen to vote on diverting their property taxes? I think there's some angst in the city about that the citizens aren't being asked anymore what it is. Plus, you gave someone from out of the county, an out of county developer, a $279,000 piece of property. Just gave it to him, and there's some circumstances about that don't really pass the smell test. Obviously, this developer had bought a piece of property next to Tractor Supply, and he had taken out the permits for it for a truck court. And some people on staff knew that, but there are people on council, when they voted to give this property away, did not know about that. And to me, that's just not right. And so I want to know what all the secrecy is about. And I want to ask that we can be more open. That's all I have to say. I ask that you perhaps consider downsizing your URA budget for this year so that we're not speaking so much that's coming from our safety departments is where it's coming from. So Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Okay, we'll move to our approval of minutes. City recorder.
So before we get to that, I would like to ask that you guys state your name before giving a motion or a second, just to make it easier with notating who's saying what. And there were some papers that were put up in your area that are suggested motions. They also have the verbiage with amend, so if you are needing to, if you guys think that the amounts need to differ, you would just say amend instead of making a
Just like-
motion.
Sandy Schmidt, is this what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
So
Okay,
that's just to try and make it easier for you
Okay.
guys, as a guide.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. So our May 11, 2026 urban renewal budget meeting. Call for a motion to approve those minutes.
Kelly Guyer, I made a motion to approve the minutes from the 5/11/26 urban renewal budget meeting.
Michelle Sumner, I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Vote. That's by a show of hands.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, raise your hand. Do we count abstentions? Okay. Motion passed. Moving on to our 2026-27 budget review. Finance Director, Community Development.
Good evening, Budget Committee. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your attention and your review of the budget and your attendance here this evening. So we have some projects on this urban renewal this year that we're looking at. I would like to briefly speak to the process that took place in 2020 to form this district, and Christy actually knows more about that. If you'd like to come up and just speak about the public process that happened before the urban renewal district was created.
So prior to the urban renewal district being created, there actually was a full feasibility study that was done, and that took probably 1 to 2 years before we had done that. And that included all of those dollar values that were projected through this budgeting process for the full 25 years. So it went through a lengthy public process, task force process, as well as council process.
Can I ask a question? How much community involvement did that include?
Gosh, it was more than yesterday. So we had multiple public processes as well as the planning commission and city council meetings. We had meetings with all of the agencies as well, including the school district and the impacts to them, the Douglas County Board of Commissioners, all of our taxing districts individually as well.
And I believe there were some public citizens on some of the boards as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
I believe the task force had a broad base of people on there.
Thank you.
So you will see on the general fund that this accounts for the activities associated with implementing the agency's plan. The primary resources to fund the plan include debt proceeds that will be paid with the proceeds from the tax increment financing created by the valuation increases within the agency boundary, the city and other state, federal agencies, interest earnings, and transfers from the debt service fund. So one of the things about an urban renewal agency is to do projects, you have to use debt because the control measure that you don't overspend your tax increment financing, the projection on the plan is that you track your maximum indebtedness. So you track that as you go through the time frame of the plan, and you can't overspend what you're going to receive in tax increment financing. So all of those projects, except for additional grants, have to be funded by debt. And originally, in the original inception of the Urban Renewal Agency, City Council had agreed to a $1 million line of credit, which was paid down to $451,000 at the end of last fiscal year. And those funds now flow. The agency basically is able to pay back as much or more than it borrows during the year. Like I say, the agency is continuing to use the line of credit borrowing, which was agreed upon. It's a revolving line of credit, repayment happening as the TIF is received. Expenditures, the agency contracts with the city of Sutherland to provide staffing for all projects. The city manager, finance director, public works director, community development director, and support staff are among those that use a portion of their time to perform work on behalf of the agency. Funding for these costs are provided in the material and services budget. As the scope of projects have increased, the amount of administrative support also increases. Accordingly, the admin support contributed by Urban Renewal back to the city is increased in this budget. You will see an increase in that line item. And Christy, do you want to talk about the projects for this year? I mean, I could go ahead and read this, but I'm sure maybe she can just talk to you about the projects, and one of those includes a Main Street grant.
So the Main Street grant, as you probably, you may or may not have seen the completion of the former bank building. The painting was one of the, and the awnings were one of the components of that grant. The rest of it was inside maintenance to make the building habitable again. And so following that grant, the Sutherland Drug Store was the next applicant and was awarded in 2025 for the revitalization grant. So that one has interior remodel, potentially a drive-through. A lot of their components may be based on the funds remaining. Also, the Liberty Tax Building was removed as part of the Urban Renewal grant funds and the revitalization funds. So you'll see some great changes happening. They've currently finished the roof on the drugstore, the annex, I should say. And so as they move forward, there'll be some wonderful changes to that. The Urban Renewal funds are grant match funds to that project, as well as some of our downtown facade improvements. So you'll see the improvements to some of the facades. The body shop was one of them. We have a couple right now. One of the outstanding ones are right next to State Farm. It'll be a laundromat and a living quarters unit in that. And so that's near completion. And so that will come out of this fiscal year, I believe, depending on when it's reimbursement based.
Is that on State Street?
Yes.
So it's up by where those smaller houses are?
Yeah, it's right north of State Farm. So the building right next to State Farm.
Right across the street from us.
Oh, so it's across the street from State Farm?
No.
No, it's right next to State Farm, across the street from the
Across the
little
street from the little house.
housing.
Okay, I'll have to drive up there, okay.
And so that'll be opening soon.
I have a question. Does the bank building, now that it's finished, does it have an occupant?
They're currently working with potential tenants. So they don't have an occupant yet, but they're working with them.
So the bank building, I know the painting, but there is, the inside is completed too?
So yeah, they actually did asbestos abatement and lead testing, as well as a sprinkler system to allow for residential units above it. The HVAC system. I think there was 4 components. I think that was it.
So I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. It seems to me like there should be an occupant in mind when we're refurbishing these buildings, so they would at least have some input as to what's being done to the building. It doesn't make sense to refurbish a building with no occupant in mind.
Commercial buildings have a broad range. The zoning allows for a lot of commercial uses, whether it's retail, restaurants. We did a survey around the beginning of this urban renewal creation that kind of put the feelers out there for the public citizens to say, hey, what do you want to see in your downtown? So the property owners have been kind of using that as a guide to help recruit their tenants. And so we don't have much control of what tenants do go in there, as long as the use is permitted and we can get them there through that. And a lot of these projects take years. That grant was started in 2022 and they just recently completed it. So it's hard to have a proposed tenant hang on for that many years, knowing they need their businesses to thrive too. So they look for closer towards the end.
So as noted in the original agency budget, the adopted urban renewal plan includes 3.43 of the max indebted for program administration. So some of those costs, it may be insufficient as we go forward, but we are increasing that amount a little bit as the agency can handle it and there's extra work taken on by city staff. The capital outlay consistent with the agency task force direction. 450,000 is budgeted for the larger projects in the downtown area. That includes, there's a portion of City Hall renovation is projected to carry over into this new fiscal year, may include parking lot and sidewalk improvements, as well as other of the large, we've got the food cart and other large projects that can be going on. Any other questions on the general fund?
The general or the urban renewal tax increment that comes over that had been mentioned earlier, that is a set amount that cannot be changed, correct?
The portion of the tax, the division of the tax, right, that's set up with the inception of the plan.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Based on a formula that assessors have, it's in ORS statute.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any further questions? All right, so at this time, we'll call for a motion to approve the general fund in the amount of $940,000.
I make a motion that we approve the URA budget at $940,000.
On that sheet.
$40,000.
What was your name again?
Kelly Geyer. Sorry.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Renee, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, please raise your hand. Motion passes.
Moving on to the debt service fund. The debt service fund accounts for the repayment of the debt issued by the agency. This fund represents the proceeds from the tax increment financing, and I'm on page 6 in the budget, created by the tax increment valuation increases within the agency boundary. Funds borrowed from the city and any other state and federal agencies or lending institutions and interest earners. Excuse me. The tax increment finance fund, the agency anticipates a levy of approximately $715,000 with $675,000 to be received in fiscal year 26-27. There will also be some delinquent TIF collections. Not a lot. We're budgeting conservatively for interest earnings. We do not anticipate any material and services expenditures from this fund, and basically you're looking at the debt repayment to the city and then also the payment on the Umpqua Bank loan, which was taken out to buy 311 East Central. And that is a 10-year loan and will pay off at the end of 10 years. So let's see, let's see if we took it in 25, must be June of 35, right? And that is approximately $100,000 coming up again this. And so we've budgeted, it's $100,000 twice a year, obviously. So you're very close to $200,000, right, on the budget on page 7. So we've got principal, administration, principal on the line of credit, interest on the line of credit, and then the principal and the interest on the bank loan out of the debt service fund. Comments or questions?
Now, this is for the Sandy Smack. Is this the this new city hall, correct?
That's what the loan was taken out for from Umpqua Bank, yes.
But to be clear, this particular fund is for paying back the debt that's been taken.
Paying back the debt, exactly.
Call for a motion to approve the Urban Renewal Debt Services Fund in the amount of $939,800.
I make a motion to approve the Urban Renewal Debt Services Fund in the amount of $939,800. Kelly Geyer.
Debbie Hamilton, I'll make a second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, please raise your hand. Motion carries. On to our 2026-27 budget approval.
You know, we're moving to the book, right?
Still on Urban Renewal Agency.
Okay.
The final, I think it's the overall, the two services, two funds collectively.
Are you ready for that motion?
I'm ready for that motion.
I make a motion to approve the 26-27 urban renewal budget in the amount of $1,879,800. Michelle.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Any opposed, please raise your hand. Motion carries. And with that, Urban Renewal Agency budget meeting for 2026-27 is adjourned.